Report.
Everything's status quo, sir.
Very well. If anyone needs me, I'll be in my ready room.
The Readier Room, the only and longest running Star Trek The Next Generation rewatch podcast. Every week we're bringing you an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation and all the behind the scenes stories told by those who are there to see the magic happen. My name is Mitchell Mell, Chief Consultant of Services at Paramount, and with me is my life partner Brandon Hobbs. Brandon, how are you doing today?
Oh, I am fantastic, Mitch. Currently rocking out to Donkey Kong Country cool and calming music plus Rainstorm.
Oh, so did they add rain noises?
They added rain noises, yeah, and it makes it so much better.
Now, do they auto pitch every raindrop to match the key of the song?
No, they don't. It's realistic. I know you would prefer snow noises instead.
I do like snow noises. Snow noises are second only to snow visuals in like how comfy they are.
A Yeti screaming in the distance.
Yeah. The light crunch as somebody walks across a snowfield.
That is satisfying.
Right?
Did in school, did you ever did they ever give you snowshoes?
No. Our shoes were made out of, leather and the normal stuff.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. So yours were made out of snow.
No, you know what I'm talking about though, snowshoes.
Like the ones with the tennis rackets tied to them?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, for some reason my school was obsessed with this.
Okay.
And I guess we just had a ton of pairs of snowshoes, so every winter if the snow was plentiful enough, we'd end up going out, I think it was gym class probably, and just walking around in the snow on them.
Now, here's a question. Were snowshoes seen in the same light as bicycle helmets, whereas,
if you were hardcore, you didn't wear them?
Yeah, if you knew somebody was a total fish, right, if they were wearing the helmet or the snowshoe. Was that what was going on?
Chief Eagle Feathers just like his, up to his waist in snow as he trudges through. All of his guys are behind him on snowshoes, like way taller than him.
He is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, but no, I never had that experience. Anytime the snow was deep, we just dealt with it. You lose a kid every year, but
yeah.
But that's the price you pay with the elements.
Right.
It was tough.
Yeah, I wish I went to a school where I had to commute on snowshoe, because then I'd have something that's just inherently interesting about my life.
Right, especially if there was a hill involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Both ways.
Indeed. Which is just the nature of hills in a lot of ways.
Hills. As long as the destination isn't on the top of the hill.
Exactly.
It's just a hill in the way.
Life was really difficult for those who lived in valleys. Just always going uphill. and trying to ice skate uphill, forget about it.
No, that's it's almost impossible.
It's almost impossible.
Almost.
Yet people are always trying it.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. You know what I've really been into recently?
What's that?
I've really been into yakisoba, which, for the audience at home is grilled soba, which for the audience at home is grilled noodles.
Not yucky soba, mind you.
No. I'm not even talking about the good stuff. I'm talking about like the UFO brand, convenience store. Throw some water in there.
Right.
But
I get you. I totally. I'm on board with this. Yeah.
I've been loving it.
It's good. I still am. Very, very big on yakisoba pan.
I don't like it in bread.
Wait, you don't like noodles inside bread?
You say that like that's a normal thing.
Have you ever seen just spaghetti in bread, like spaghetti and red sauce in bread?
No, but I can imagine
Because
it.
that was a thing at the school co-op when I was there.
Now, was it
And yeah, it's got to be disgusting.
red sauce or ketchup?
Oof, that's a good question. No matter what it was, it probably tasted more like ketchup.
Right. Just disgustingly sweet and chunky
Yeah.
tomatoes.
Well, it's like this is something I would make when I was like 7 years old.
And poor.
You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. And it's like, oh, this sounds like a good idea.
That's what I specifically want to go buy as an adult in a store.
But yakisoba pan is good. Because it has that mayo or whatever, right? So
Does it?
yeah, it has some kind of sauce. I think it's mayo.
Are you sure it's just not that black sauce?
It's what?
Not that black sauce that most
No, it's not.
it's...
I don't think I would be confusing black sauce for mayo.
You never know. Particularly brackish mayo.
You never know.
You never know.
Strange New Worlds aired.
Is that Star Trek?
That's Star Trek.
You watch it?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I can only imagine how terrible it was. I'm almost curious about it because it seems rather detached from Discovery and Picard.
Are Star Trek series even... I mean, so I acknowledge that. I'm not trying to move away from your point, but are they even about just episodic space adventures anymore? Or are they
Well,
all...
that's the thing. That's what Strange New Worlds is purporting to be.
Well, that's good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I've never really been into these super long story arcs.
No. The problem is, though, it's still got that, like, quippiness to it.
Right. Which we don't like.
So, I don't know. No, we don't like that.
No. I am content to be quipless.
And we dislike anyone who does like it, actually.
Yeah, you're not allowed to listen to our podcast if you like quips.
We take it a step further, really.
That's why we do top 11 videos. We like to go a step further. You ever see that that Burger King foot lettuce?
Yeah.
I only heard this rather recently, but it does tickle me.
Oh, really?
You don't think it's funny?
No. You only heard it recently?
Yeah.
Oh. Huh, that's funny.
Right? It's I don't know. It's the thing is, as brainless and vapid as you judge that content to be, people are just making money hand over fist.
That's nuts.
It's embarrassing of society.
Which is why I was surprised you hadn't heard it till recently.
Because of all the vapid content I enjoy.
You know, well, no, because that particular channel is pretty big, but I guess it is kind of a Zoomer thing, huh?
Well, my favorite fat neckbeard did a video about that channel. Sorry, my favorite fat Zoomer neckbeard. No.
Oh, no, not that one.
Wait, I'm sorry. The order of adjectives would fat neckbeard Zoomer.
Yeah, fat neckbeard Zoomer. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
You teach that in class?
Yeah, I mean, I teach everything about class, such as how to wear your fedora to appear the most classy.
It's like a 2011 joke.
I am old.
You said you had something to tell me earlier.
Oh no, that was just the yakisoba thing. Just for those at home, I go to Brandon here and I said, "Hey," and I stopped myself. Wait, this is worth talking about on the podcast.
I mean, I guess it was worth talking about. We got a good 5 minutes out of it.
Yeah, and our goal is to make each episode as long as possible. So
just completely dreadful, full of vapid content, so we can make money hand over fist.
Exactly, which we're already doing.
We're already doing, yeah. So Just gotta keep the pace up.
All right, let's have a 5-minute break where we keep rolling, and we'll do this every 10 minutes.
Sure.
All right.
And we can kind of sit here and just do whatever we want.
That's right.
Coughing on the mic.
And we're back. So this week we have a question of the week from who is it? Where are my notes here? Oh my god, my evidence is all over the place. So this week's question of the week comes from Yuji in Tokyo, who says, "Hello, Admirals. I know this isn't related to Star Trek per se, but who is your favorite actor that played James Bond?" On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Yuji. Thanks for the show. Well, Yuji, that's a strange question to write into a Star Trek podcast about, but I think we can do our best
That is odd.
to answer it. Now, I know that you are a James Bond aficionado.
Oh, I'm a freak.
That's partly why I chose this question, as a little bit of a gimme to you. So, who's your favorite Bond?
I would say, and, well, this may be an unpopular opinion, but I've studied the Bonds in ways that other people really haven't.
A true Bondsman.
I'm a Bonds fan. And I'm going to say George Lazenby.
Okay. Explain.
Well, he was only in one film.
So
okay.
He's the rarest Bond.
He's the rarest Bond. Not many people have seen that movie compared to the other Bonds.
Now that was on Her Majesty's Secret Service, right?
It was. So, maybe Yuji was trying to extract this answer from me.
He knew his audience.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, so when someone, and this is a topic that comes up often. I mean, the Bond movies are very popular and successful and well known. When someone comes up to me and asks me, who is your favorite Bond, and I can say George Lazenby, that shows that I've watched all of them.
Right. It's not you can't have that opinion casually.
Right. Yeah. So, it kind of lets the other person know that I'm taking the dominant role in this conversation.
Right.
Because they would have said Daniel Craig or Pierce Brosnan or maybe Sean Connery.
Right, because you sound a little like you need the approval if you try to overtly test them, But if you just subtly imply that you know more than they do, you gain the upper hand.
Yeah. I will say that someone's a complete degenerate when they say Roger Moore.
Well, that was going to be my answer, because I feel that the other Bonds are intrinsically lesser.
It is kind of right there in the name, huh?
That's right.
And he was in Octopussy, which is the funniest name for a film probably ever.
Right. That's the film that everybody always thinks is an Austin Powers joint. Do you know what the prefix would be if it was a 9-pussied beast?
Non-pussy or something?
I think it's nano-pussy? Maybe noctopussy?
Noctopussy. Well, because it would be septopussy, octopussy,
Nano. What? All right, hold on.
Is it nano?
What is the prefix for 9?
No, I think you're right. I think it's nano, because...
Yeah, it's nana. Like my
Nana.
Italian grandmother. Nona.
Yeah. Like a nonogram.
Yeah. What? Like a 9-sided figure?
Yeah.
I see. All right, quiz. I believe you can get 10. Excuse me, but what is the prefix for 11?
Oh, come on. I don't even know where to start with that one. What is it?
I'll start with the one for 10. What's 10?
Deca?
Okay, that'll give you a hint.
Deca solo.
Nice. Undeca. 12 is duodeca. 13 is
Wow.
trideca, and so on and so forth.
What if Undeka is kind of confusing because what if you read it as Undeka?
Like it's
Like
the
not a
unten,
deca.
right? Yeah, it's true. Okay, here's 4 is pretty good. I'm sorry, 14 is pretty good. Quatuor deca. Quattuor.
That's 14.
Yeah.
Spelled again? Quatt
Uor deca.
Uor.
Quat.
Quaturo?
Right. Quatuor. There's an R at the end.
Oh.
Then there's quinquadeca.
Quinquadeca.
Now 16 you'll really enjoy. Sexdeca. And 19 is Novemdeca, presumably
Wow.
the 11th month of the year. 20 is pretty good. Viginti.
Well, no, that makes sense because, I mean, November was probably originally the 9th month of the year.
That's true,
right?
And then they changed it.
Because
They
December,
patched it.
October, September,
Oh my God! Where did they get these
Right?
hidden months?
right?
Right.
So yeah, where are the hidden months? But the thing is, it's only September through December that makes sense that way,
Yes.
right? Because January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, that means nothing.
Well, June is like a June bug, which roughly resembles the number 6.
I suppose, yeah.
So maybe it's July and August that are
Maybe it was originally pronounced Julie.
okay.
Uh-huh.
And then
And she's 7 years old.
oh, I see. Okay. Now Augustus was a Roman emperor.
Uh-huh.
Now I don't think he was batshit like Caligula, but I do think
Right.
that he really was fascinated with the number 8. Perhaps because it's like a sideways infinity.
Right. And maybe he wanted to live forever.
You're right. So he chose the 8th month. It resembles the infinity sign. That's going to be my name, and we're talking
Okay,
about him
yeah.
now. So
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it worked out for him, didn't it?
game, set, match. Augustus of Assisi.
Of CC. I looked up nonogram, and the top question on Google, the second top question on Google is, what does the Slipknot logo mean?
Okay, well, please answer me. What does it mean?
Oh, it just links to nonogram.
Mm. Now, what is the Slipknot logo?
Hold on. It's a nonogram with like with the Slipknot symbol.
Oh,
inside.
I get it. A so I was thinking more like a parallelogram, not like a pentagram, not the star. You know?
Right. No, yeah, you couldn't do a nonogram in like the traditional sense, really. I guess
You could definitely make a 9-sided. It's a nonagon.
I mean, yeah, you could, but like, I mean, it wouldn't be like all even sides, would it?
No, you could make any parallelogram with even sides. I'm sorry, any
Okay.
any polygon with even sides.
Well, it's not a polygon.
Mm. Yeah, it is. A vector? Hold on.
What, like the Sonic the Hedgehog character?
Does a nonagon have even sides? Google suggestion, does a nonagon have 9 sides? How do you know the word nonagon, but you don't know how many sides it has? All right, see, that's the thing, a regular polygon. A regular nonagon has 9 equal sides and 9 equal interior angles. Which, by the way, implies that the
Okay,
exterior
yeah.
angles are also equal.
Yeah, that would imply that. All right. This says, okay, they call it the nonogram, the Slipknot logo,
Okay.
and they say on the Slipknot wiki that it represents Slipknot's battle with the fake world.
You a big Slipknot fan?
Wait, yeah, no, not really. They're okay. They're not bad.
Yeah.
It's not your cup of tea.
It's not
I
my
don't
cup
think.
of tea. I don't like them, but I have done them at karaoke.
Oh, very nice.
They have that one song where they shout a lot. It's fun to do.
That one, yeah.
Now I've tied a Slipknot before. It ended up breaking on me, but you
Mhm.
know, I don't hold
Well,
that
yeah,
against
they're
the
not
band.
the most. They're not the most reliable things.
Now, Slipknot is the name of a Grateful Dead song, and it has an exclamation point at the end. Slipknot.
Really?
Yeah. Now,
Do you think that's in reference to them running into Slipknot once and they said Slipknot?
it was a prophetic composition, to be sure. By the Grateful Dead. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if it's referencing the knot or if it's a command, like don't slip. Slip knot.
Yeah.
Right. Slip knot, don't bother me.
Right.
It's a lot going on. I'm not. I don't know if I've spoken about this in the podcast before, but I take umbrage with a lot of aspects of the Grateful Dead.
Okay.
First of all, Bob, what is his name? Bobby. What the fuck is this guy's name?
Bobby Flay.
That's a good guess. It's Bob Weir. I fucking hate Bob Weir. He cannot play guitar, and his compositions are bad. And they kicked him out of the band like early on, and he just refused to leave. So they're like, whatever, just let him stay.
So they didn't kick him out.
They tried to.
They tried to.
Right, and he's just terrible. He's now that Jerry's dead, he's the de facto leader of the band, and he just plays at a geriatric pace. And even
are they still kicking?
Yeah, they're playing.
I thought they stopped.
They hired John Mayer to be their guitarist.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
So
that's really funny.
Here's what happened. In 2015, they did a farewell series of concerts.
That's what I was thinking of, yeah.
And it was a big thing. They simulcast it in movie theaters. It was like 3 nights, and then they made 2 additional nights because the demand was so large. They got Trey to play guitar that time, and it was this big whole thing. And, I was like, I haven't really watched The Grateful Dead, but I feel like this is notable enough that I'll go watch it in the movie theater, as it's simulcasting. And at the end of the last night, they do the whole tearful double encore, whatever. And as they're leaving the stage, backstage, they have like an interview. And somebody walks up to Bob Weir and asks him a question of, okay, Bob, so what's next? And he's like, oh, we'll do more concerts. We'll do something.
Oh.
Yeah, just instantly. And it was
just... No pretense at all.
No, just disgusting to me. Embarrassing, really.
I know this is going to surprise you, but I've never heard a Grateful Dead song.
That doesn't surprise me so much. I mean, you might have heard, like, Casey Jones kicking on some radio, riding in the car with your dad or something. I don't know, but... It's whatever. Who gives a shit about the Grateful Dead? But they, just a lot of bad points to them. And they're not so grateful either.
They're not grateful at all. And they're not dead. Well.
They're working on it.
Maybe once they die, they'll be grateful. Maybe that's prophetic.
God, I can't wait. But it's
you'll be grateful.
Hell yeah. But it's just, if you ever listen to them and you're in tune enough to know who's playing what, you'll just hear Bob Weir playing and you just wish that you couldn't. And the tone of his guitar is always just so thin and fucking flat. It's miserable. I hate it.
I'm sort of curious. I might have to give them a listen later.
Oh my goodness. And it's especially painful if you listen to a recent concert recording and then a parallel recording of the same song from, I don't know, the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, however far back you want to go. And it's like, I don't know, 60% of the BPM. It's painfully slow.
Oh, man.
And like I see that, and then I see guys like Fish, who are also pretty old. They're in their 60s now. And they're just not missing a beat.
They're still kicking, yeah.
It's just... I fucking hate the Grateful Dead. And their improv is also so scripted. They always, people like to think about jam bands as, weaving in and out of songs, transitioning, their alligators and whatnot. And for the Grateful Dead, they always pair the same songs together. They always go, what is it? Like, I Know You Rider into China Cat Sunflower, I believe that's it. They always do... They always have this like 20-minute long drum solo that goes into a spacey jam, a space jam, and it's so predictable. Why? If you're
Is this a recent development?
no,
They've always done this.
They've always done this, and it makes me question. Maybe it's like a they were the first people to do it kind of thing. I don't know, but why chase this act? Why follow this band around when they're so predictable?
Sure.
Modern jam bands have really evolved that concept in a lot of ways. That
like there's a reason to be there on that specific night,
right? But I just can't. I don't understand it. It's just a bunch of like fat old people, just like twirling around in the crowd.
Grateful Dead fans are like particularly pathetic, aren't they?
They are.
It's really because I mean at this point, right? They're boomers like us, and but like you never get the sense that they used to be cool or fun to hang out with,
right?
You know what I mean? They always seem like they've just always been lame.
I heard this quote once, and I don't know how true it is, but it's something I like to think about. It said that punks are good people pretending to be bad people, and hippies are bad people pretending to be good people.
That's not bad. That sounds pretty accurate to me,
right?
But it's like you know you and I'm not saying Fish fans are particularly wonderful or anything, and you know that better than I do.
Yes, I would never say that.
But you get the sense that there's at least some kind of subculture going on with Fish, whereas with Grateful Dead, it's kind of just like,
yeah, a lot of
and maybe it was different back then. I didn't pay attention, but nowadays, especially, and again, looking at the people who have been fans for them since their inception, it's just a lot of nothing. Like they're the same automatons as every other boomer is.
Right. Yeah, it's not. There's nothing respectable about that, and not in the get a job and a haircut respectable, but in the creative sense.
Yeah, sure.
So fuck the Grateful Dead.
Fuck the Grateful Dead.
Jerry picked a good time to die, but I do think that Jerry Garcia is probably one of, if not the best guitarists.
And he made a damn good ice cream.
He insanely good. But if you ever listen to him in his prime, it's just insanely inspired playing.
Yeah.
Which highlights how uninspired everybody else in the band is.
That's cool. I might check this out so I can understand your frustration.
Well, if there's one thing I like doing, it's sowing frustration. And then reaping it, I guess. So this week we watched Star Trek: The Next Generation. We did our very first Barclay episode, Hollow Pursuits.
Hollow Pursuits, yes. And
what'd you think about it?
Well, to preface our conversation, you remember there was a lot of controversy about this one.
Yeah, there was.
At the time, we got like tons of mail about this.
It was a bit too real.
Yeah. A lot of people asking us if it was like some kind of meta commentary on Trek fans, particularly the ones we'd met out on the convention circuit, right? Because I mean, where else are you going to interact with them? So yeah, a lot of mail about that, but we also got a lot of mail asking how we managed to get 2 Troys on screen at once. And then a lot of mail asking if we could get 3 next time. So
little did they know that each subsequent Troy is exponentially more difficult. They just start syncing up. It's miserable.
Right. They they start artifacting.
Yes. I remember one letter thought that was Marina's twin, Serena Sirtis.
Right. Who does exist, by the way.
Right.
So not that far of a conjecture, but no, that was Marina in both roles.
Right. But Serena is a much worse actress.
Yeah.
If you can imagine.
Didn't we get her at some point for like to stand in at some point?
I think we
I
needed
feel
to.
like we did
Marina was out pregnant or something, and we needed
something like that.
Troy to fall out of a window.
Mm-hmm.
I don't quite remember. Might have been for
Yeah,
one of the
but-
movies.
Oh, it could have been. It could have been. In real life, they were basically the same person. We didn't really pay attention to either of them, but
Right.
hence our confusion.
Equally forgettable.
But yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. So Hollow Pursuits, interesting episode, a very good episode. First of all, Dwight Schultz.
Rick Schultz?
Dwight Schultz. Why did I say Rick Schultz? Dwight Schultz is a fantastic actor.
Yes.
And I mean, overall, just a very good. It's got some weird little interesting bits, like every episode does, that we're gonna end up pointing out. But I thought it was really good.
Same. And it's the first of his appearances, and we later brought him back twice, maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
Twice, not including an episode of Voyager, of all places. But anyway, he's
also not including the Mirror Universe where he kills Denise.
Right. Not Yar.
Not Yar, but Denise. I couldn't remember the character's name.
The true Mirror Universe where Dwight kills Denise. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Yeah, for a number of reasons. Not the least of which being Dwight himself. But
yeah,
it's a story that doesn't center on the same principal characters as always. Picard's barely in it, at least as a major role. Riker doesn't really exist in it as a character, more of just as a plot device.
and I do want to stop there for a moment because I thought it was almost we're almost approaching out of character for these guys at this point.
For everybody?
No, not for everybody, but for Riker and Geordi, I thought it was a little bit odd.
How they delight in bullying?
Yes. Oh my God. It's like immediate. They've never acted this way before.
Right. Wesley Crusher too, but at least he is the out of being an immature kid.
Yeah. He's a kid. Yeah. These guys, like they're laughing at him behind his back,
calling him names.
It's crazy.
Right. Now, I don't know if this was inspired by Frakes himself, but I do remember that the first time we did a table read, Frakes really enjoyed the script because it was, quote, just like high school.
Yeah.
At least his scenes with Barclay.
Yep.
So maybe that's art imitating life? I don't know.
It could be. I mean, and it was just like high school.
It was. The weird guy doesn't really get the girl in the end. He just says goodbye to all his holographic friends.
Right.
I will say that those perhaps out of character moments for Geordi and Riker ended up providing a good Picard moment.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah, I agree.
Where Picard just refuses to tolerate this tomfoolery.
Mm-hmm. Tomfoolery.
That was by the way, tomfoolery was the working title for Barclay's character.
Mm-hmm. That's true. We had a few things kicking around back then.
That's right. Clay Bar.
I guess it kind of goes back to the what the writers were trying to do was, I guess, line up the because we always knew we wanted to give him a stupid nickname, right?
Yes.
Or I say we, but the writers wanted this. They always wanted a stupid nickname. They actually cycled through a bunch of different vegetables, trying to match up a name with them. And this is a bit of an old crone's tale, I would say.
Well, an old crone is right twice a day, they say.
They do say that. They've been saying that a lot recently. I don't know why.
It must be one of the twice a day times.
It might be. It's been lasting a while.
Mm-hmm.
This day's been lasting quite some time.
The endless day of crone.
But yeah. So the way I hear it, the writers cycled through a bunch of different vegetable names because they knew they wanted a vegetable for the nickname. because they knew that was the meanest possible nickname they could possibly give someone was a vegetable name, right?
Right.
So they were thinking like green bean, potato, onion,
Baby carrot.
Baby carrot, yes. The baby carrot was definitely a contender. They struck onion pretty quickly because they had a feeling Frakes might take offense to it. But the way I hear it happened, the way we got broccoli.
This is the old crone part of the tale.
This is the crone, yeah. The legend is that Ira, who ended up doing the rewrite on the episode, he derived his inspiration at the very last second, thanks to two young bucks in food services who had bravely decided that day to serve broccoli at lunch.
Now, I don't want to tread on history or influence the discussion, but I will say that those in show business, they really enjoy, having some broccoli fondue available. And something I've picked up is that you can never really go wrong serving it.
That's true. I mean, you get that. It's a big vat of cheese,
right?
Really.
I mean, some of them just deign themselves to stick their whole hand in there, but
right. Yeah, I was gonna say we had a few incidents.
If you ever see a yellow stain on the carpet of the set, that's some cheese that dripped off. Someone holding their hand out of view of the camera while it's just encased in cheese. There
are a few of those, which I'm surprised. I don't think there's actually a few of those that people haven't caught yet. I mean, you go to the Trek websites that have like the little interesting trivia and stuff. Back
in the 90s, there was these GeoCities, these websites that were compendiums of all the yellow stains on the Trek set. And
is that right?
Yeah, and a lot of them were found, to be sure, but not all of them. And I remember, looking at those and being like, "Oh, they found this one. Season 2, episode 5. No, they didn't find that one." Because there's just a lot, and part of it is the low definition cameras or standard definition. But it's there.
And you never know what they did to touch up the Blu-ray.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
They might have edited it out. I think that's
they might have
a little insensitive to Trek's history, but what are you gonna do?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're taking out the influence of the crew, really.
Yeah.
But
sad.
What are you gonna do? Yeah, they call him Broccoli.
They do. Which
is kind of a far cry from Barclay.
Yeah, they really just needed something. And I don't know if an intentionally stupid nickname sheds light on how juvenile everyone's acting or what.
And that might be part of the issue. It's like it is so stupid that it's like, really? And who brings it up?
I think that
it's Riker.
No, Geordi says it to Riker.
No. Riker says it to Geordi.
No, I think at the very beginning, like when they're in the when they're talking about him before
when they're in the cargo bay, yeah. Riker says it to Geordi.
No, Geordi says it to Riker, and Riker.
I have the script up right now.
Oh shit! He's got the receipts.
Riker says, "I think it's time we talk to the captain about broccoli." That's what Wesley calls him. Keep it to yourself. And then Geordi says, "It fits." It fits, huh? Does it?
Must be his I don't know, his nutritious nature.
I was gonna say, Barclay is green and nutritious. Kids hate him. Well,
yes. Kids hate him.
Kids fear him. Kids hate him. Has science gone too far?
If you don't eat all your broccoli, you can't play your video games.
You can't go to the holodeck.
You can't have sex with fake Troy.
But yeah, so the episode starts out they're taking these tissue samples to some planet to cure Corellium fever or something.
Wow, you wrote down the disease?
No, I just remembered it actually.
Well, you do have the script in front of you, so I don't believe that for a second.
I know I remembered it because it sounds like Corellia, which is the planet that somehow Han Solo is from. And also the Millennium Falcon is from.
Isn't that the manor that Ronnie lives in?
Huh?
Ronnie the Witch.
Corellia?
Yeah.
No, that's what is that?
It's similar.
That's Lucaria.
No. That's
Oh, no, that's the school.
Yeah. I think it all right, hold on.
Yeah, we gotta figure this out. Our Elden Ring lore is
Yes.
important. Caria.
Okay. Vaguely close.
Pretty much the same. Yeah. Caria.
Corellia.
We love Ronnie here.
We do. So they're gonna cure Caria fever, on the planet Luxor or whatever, and
Yeah.
they're transporting tissue samples when one of the samples cracks open because there's an anti-grav malfunction, or maybe
And this was actually, it is, yeah. It was actually fortuitous because that anti-grav unit had busted in real life like a few weeks prior, so we just kind of added that to the script.
yeah, it's real economical use of our anti-grav units.
Yeah. But yeah, it was an anti-grav mistake.
Right.
It
No, that
chipped the.
that is after the thing breaks open, because as it turns out, it causes the anti-grav malfunction.
Wait, what thing breaks open?
The tissue samples leak, which
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I got that all messed up.
which later we find out is the cause of.
That is an odd setup when like they specifically showed the anti-grav lift falling and a sample jar being broken.
I don't know if that.
Right.
I think the incidents might be in the reverse order. Like one just there's no reason for it. It just breaks open and then.
No. I think you're right, but it's off screen. I think.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So it's a little confusing. The cause and effect here.
Although I will say that this is not how the episode opens, because it opens with Barclay's first scene.
Oh yeah, that's right. I can only imagine watching this for the first time and wondering what the hell is going on.
It's a fun feeling, I think, because like, who's this guy? Like, I've never seen him before. He's kind of a Chad, but he also looks completely ridiculous, and
Right.
and he's putting
He
Riker in his
looks like
place.
that guy in the office that no one talks to.
Great casting.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. Very good. Whoopi actually got him the role.
Yeah.
'Cause they were in a movie together.
Right. And when he got the role, he said, "Whoopee!"
He did.
'Cause he was so happy.
Which is a fun coincidence. That was not intentional on his part.
Right. That's just how he celebrates most things.
Yeah.
Which is probably
Yeah.
why him and Whoopi Goldberg got along so well. Yeah.
That's probably why. Yeah. Now imagine if he said Goldberg instead.
Well, half the people on set would have turned to look. Now, this.
Oh shit.
Oh, baby. I remember, as we always did at that time when Gene wasn't really on set, we did still send him our scripts just to ostensibly get his approval and his comments, even if nobody really cared about them.
Yeah.
And for this one, he only sent back one note, which was a question, kind of, I guess, inspired by this first scene. And he said, quote, "Why would anyone fantasize about Marina?" And, we kind of left that hanging. We pondered it a lot, but
There was nothing you could really do with it.
no.
I do remember someone showed that note to her though,
Yeah,
which was very funny.
she kind of had the same reaction that Troy does in this episode later on when she sees Hollow Troy.
The goddess of empathy.
Right. And, Frakes also had the same reaction of just kind of shutting her down.
It's a little disingenuous on Gene's part, though, isn't it? Because it was only after she'd rebuffed him so many times that he started hating her too.
Right. Well, that's just the trajectory these things follow.
Yeah, I suppose.
A bit of a sour grape.
That's just what you do with women.
Who's the you here? Anyone?
Royal you.
Ah, I see. Or Royale you. So Barclay, as we see him in the holodeck and interacting with the crew. Two completely different Barclays. Not a cloning situation, mind you, but more of a confidence issue.
Yes.
Which
again highlights Dwight's very good acting.
Yes, and he is a great actor, and it comes out even more so in, I think, his second appearance, where Barclay has a complete change of personality. But yeah, no matter what he's doing, he just plays him really well. Really shows up everyone else on the cast.
He does. He totally does. Yeah, so the whole conceit of the episode is that Barclay spends all his time in the holodeck fantasizing about having sex with the female members of the bridge crew
and beating up the male members.
Yeah. And he lacks confidence to an extreme degree. He messes up all the time. He's always late.
Now, are you just reading the script? Because I believe that's a rant Geordi goes on.
We get this big exposition dump probably 2 or 3 times from Geordi, actually. But Geordi has a problem with them, and by the time the thing is, I guess we're supposed to take this as like this has been brewing for a while, but having this be the first time we see it, it almost makes Geordi come off as short-tempered.
Well, he is short.
He is short. The second he meets like some kind of resistance from his subordinates, he's like, we gotta get rid of him.
He's not a good leader, Geordi.
No, he's not.
Which is ultimately what it comes down to.
Right.
And he has the most ham-fisted way of trying to win over Barclay or trying to motivate him. Later on, he basically walks up to him, pats him on the back, is like, "Hey, champ, how's it going?"
Yeah. Yes.
You working on your diagnostics?
Right.
Oh, that's good. Some bullshit.
Just baby talk.
Right. Hey, Reg.
Yeah. Hey, Reg. That was a good impression. Hey, Reg. Riker, I think, might hate him even more.
Yeah, Riker displays a real animosity towards Barclay.
He despises Barclay.
There's a moment in one of the first scenes where he kind of grabs him and says, "I don't know what the hell you got away with on your last ship, but this is the Enterprise." It's like, damn, man.
I don't think I've ever seen Riker this angry about anything.
Right. He's like in a life or death situation, and he's quipping and joking around and whatnot.
Right.
Or he's just kind of like cocking his eyebrow. But here he's ready to just throw blows.
Yeah. Maybe he secretly spent some time in Barclay's simulations.
He could use it. Just hate fuck whoever, and get it out of the system.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Now, this is putting the cart before the horse a little bit. How do you feel about the word holodiction?
Did they say that?
Yeah. In a odd display of world building, Geordi says to Barclay,
"Oh, holodiction."
Yeah, you could write the book on holodiction.
I always thought he'd made that phrase up.
Yeah?
Yeah. But, I mean, I guess it would make sense for it to exist.
I don't think you would just make that up on the spot. Right? Like, if you and I are talking about reality TV, it's like, you love reality TV, it's all you watch. I wouldn't be like, "Oh, you could write the book on realitiction." It's just...
Well, hollow and addiction kind of flow into each other.
Yes, you can understand it, but I don't think you would just invent that phrase on the spot.
All right, yeah, okay, fair. Okay, I wasn't significantly perturbed by the phrase. I assume you were?
No, I thought it was, like I said, I thought it was a cool little bit of world building, but...
Oh, I thought you were being sarcastic.
No, it stuck out to me because it's kind of atypical, but it's not bad.
Neuroatypical?
Nice, very nice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. it is nice that they're acknowledging these things that would realistically happen.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If a holodeck actually existed, which is like, yes, people would spend all their time in there because it's much better than the outside world.
And part of me thought that this came up again later on when Riker says something like it's against protocol to make holodeck images of crew members. And then it was like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. And then Troy's like, no, that's not real, you dumbass. He's like, yeah,
it's against protocol to be holodicted.
You should have followed Chrono, Barclay.
You're done. Touching my uniform through the fence, you faggot. Data raper on your face clothes. Oh man, that's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is. So Geordi and Riker request to have Barclay transferred, and Picard says no on the grounds that that's a really shitty way to be a leader, just to transfer people out. At a moment's notice.
Which, as you said, was a great character moment.
Yeah. They make reference to the broccoli joke. Picard says, "Yeah, well, let's just stop doing that because we're adults here." And all that was good. So this provokes Geordi to baby Riker, as it were. Not Riker, baby Barclay. That's his name.
I want a show about baby Riker, like a cartoon.
It's just boss baby in space. Anyway,
giving me big boss baby vibes. TNG gives me boss baby vibes already, so
unfortunately. So,
wait! I do need to note something in that scene in the Ready Room. I think it's in the Ready Room. Picard calls Geordi.
Yeah, that is strange,
right?
I've seen that happen with Riker. He calls him Will.
Yeah.
I don't think he does that with any of the other characters.
No, I think that's the first time I've ever heard the word Geordi come out of his mouth.
He even says Mr. Worf instead of just Worf.
Yeah, he's always like Mr. LaForge.
Right.
Geordi? That bothered me.
I don't remember the context. Was it a more tender moment? Like he says dismissed,
and
then Geordi turns around and he's like Geordi, and turns back around.
I think he might have been putting his hand on his shoulder or something. Still though, it's weird.
Which is
Picard's not like that.
The direct inspiration for Geordi to walk up to Barclay later and be like, "Reg,"
slap. That's that's some nice lore there. Not the Star Trek character, mind you.
No, can't wait for that again. So then Geordi gives Barclay the mission to investigate this anti-grav thing and these problems that are going on. God, what happens? He goes back to the holodeck, maybe? Geordi goes to Guinan? Is that what happens?
Geordi goes to Guinan. Yeah. You're right about that. Yep.
Okay.
No. Wait. Here's what happens first. He wants to build up Barclay's kind of confidence in himself. So he says, "Why don't you come to the meeting in the morning with my senior officers?"
Okay, yes.
Right? And Barclay barely makes it on time, and you can tell Geordi's chomping at the bit to yell at him about it, but he doesn't.
But he holds back, and he leaves that to Wesley Crusher.
Yeah, then Wesley Crusher shows him the hell up, and while he's talking, like we get these cuts to the other
senior officers.
And they're like making faces and stuff at Barclay as he's talking, and it's just everyone hates this guy.
I mean, part of me wants to be like, oh, none of these people have the maturity to abstain from that, but at the same time, if you've ever worked with other people, it is very true to life.
No, totally, yeah. I mean, and if I were in an office setting with a guy like Barclay, I'd probably hate him too.
Right. Talk shit.
In fact, I am in an office setting with Barclay sometimes, and I've always hated him.
Talk shit.
You do talk shit.
And then after this, Barclay returns to the holodeck to vent to a holographic Troy about how Crusher showed him up. Wesley Crusher.
Right.
And then he says, wait, I don't want to fuck you as a therapist. Computer load sexy Troy 15.
Although that scene was another bait and switch where you think it might be real.
Right. I mean, granted, you can immediately tell by Barclay's disposition.
Oh, yeah, he's doing that, he's doing that acting thing.
Right.
That's so-called acting.
Hey, he acts well.
He does act well.
Don't bully Dwight. In a world of bad actors, we need to hold on to Tim for dear life.
You're a bad actor.
I act in bad faith.
Yeah. So Geordi does go to Guinan at this point, I believe, right?
Right. And he kind of gets told by Guinan.
There's an amazing scene. Wait. No, first he's at 10 forward with Data and Riker and his senior officer, right?
No, I think that's after. Maybe.
Okay, all right. So no, that is before. That's definitely before. Wait.
No, well, because what happens in that scene? He ultimately comes to Barclay to get him to investigate.
No, it is. I'm sorry, it is before that. It is. The scene in 10 forward with Riker and Data is before going to Guinan.
Ah, fuck. All right. Well, they have...
And there's an incredible line from Data where he asks why Barclay is being clandestinely referred to as a vegetable.
Excellent line. That's a great Data line.
It is. And that could have been so stupid and just unnecessary, but the clandestinely was incredible.
Good vocab.
It was very good.
But that also works in the sense of immediately identifying the ridiculousness with which everyone's acting.
Sure, yeah, because Geordi responds. He's like, yep, the name stops now. So yeah. It's after that he goes to Guinan.
Right.
And
gets
she's in support of Barclay. There's this little line where she asks him to think of Barclay's positive qualities, and he's imaginative, and then she looks at him and she's like, I know, or whatever, and raises her eyebrows, which I thought was suggestive.
Right. Seemingly being aware of his holodeck activities.
Right. Like, what is going on here?
That's Guinan. She's got that black woman mysticism.
Yeah, and so yeah, I mean, Geordi's kind of he's talking in circles a lot, and he's like, he doesn't fit in here. Well, I don't know what to do with him.
It's because he has an untenable position, as Guinan is exposing.
Right. Yeah. Sure. Exactly. Yeah. And Guinan's solution is to tell him about her. Is it her mother's brother?
Yeah, she said mother's brother instead of uncle because presumably uncle is too Earth-like.
Yeah, it's too colloquial, too contemporary. Her uncle, Turkim.
Right.
Which she introduces very oddly. She just says Turkim. Geordi's talking and she looks him straight in the face and just says Turkim.
As if Geordi should know what a Turkim is.
Like, well, what are you going to do with that? But funny aside, and the reason I bring this up is that LeVar, he never really felt his character was quippy enough, right? He wanted to give him because you had Riker, who was kind of, he'd have his jokes, like you were saying before, in tense situations, he'd be the character to kind of diffuse it. And LeVar always wanted Geordi to be a little more charismatic, and so there was half a day I think where he was pushing for Geordi to respond with Turkim. Guinan, I barely know him.
Which would have been hilarious.
It would have been great. Because one can only imagine what Turking someone could be.
Well, it's science fiction, it's the future. Your mind wanders, lands on something you think is funny. It's great. Right. It's great writing.
Right.
Not where we landed though.
I would appreciate it if the ensigns would commission some artwork of Geordi Turking Barclay off.
I think we all want to see that. I mean, that's kind of... I imagine that situation on the reg. On the reg, even.
On the reg. Oh, man.
Now,
Yeah,
how do you feel about Guinan coming in to defend the more unique aspects of the fan base that may have inspired Barclay's character?
well, that's the thing. You know, we needed some element of that. We needed a character to do that. Because I mean, it's for pretty obvious reasons. We don't want the fans to catch on too quick.
Right. It's
or feel too persecuted.
It would feel like punching down to just have all
Sure.
this Barclay stuff without any not repercussion, but anything to alleviate the sting.
And we were very very thoughtful about where society would go in the next 30, 40 years. And the idea of punching down, as we thought, has become morally reprehensible. So we said, let's throw Guinan in there. She's an empath of sorts. You know, you also have Troy, who's sympathetic. So
Yeah, that's a good question. A good point in that Guinan seems to be a much better therapist than Troy. People talk to Guinan and it solves all of their problems. Nobody ever really talks to Troy.
That's so true. I never thought about that.
But
Yeah, Guinan solves more problems than Troy ever does.
oh hell yeah. And
Maybe it was a commentary on how bartenders are more useful than therapists.
ooh, that's a meta commentary there.
Yeah.
Now, I enjoyed that scene a lot. I just wanted to make that known. It's a good scene.
It's a good scene, yeah. And I am surprised that the writers were able to create a character in Barclay who is both annoying and someone you sympathize with. And so in that scene, you are basically on Guinan's side. You know, you're like, yeah, I mean, these guys are being ridiculous about this.
Right. If people were gonna bully me every day, I wouldn't want to show up either.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good line.
Yeah. So it's oddly good writing. Not what you would expect
Yeah.
from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really only with Gene kind of out of the equation that we start to get this kind of stuff. And it's nice, it's refreshing.
Yeah, the old Star Trek rules would never abide by this.
Not at all. This would have been struck down immediately.
Like what? Interpersonal conflict?
Not only that, but the holodeck can be bad.
It's not a paradise?
You don't just go there and stare at waterfalls?
Oh, my holographic pleasure garden.
I'm going insane.
Ah.
Ack.
Oh, we have fun here. So
Yeah, we missed
we missed what? What could we have possibly have missed?
a scene, the scene that introduces Barclay's garden.
Oh, is this the fencing scene? Where he's having a go with three musketeers?
Yes.
I enjoyed that
And
scene.
Geordi catches him.
Yeah, I enjoyed that scene a lot.
Yeah.
You know what? Yes, because it's after this that they go to 10 Forward together.
Yes.
So I really like this scene. I thought that, I don't want to call it action, but I guess the action of the fencing was actually
It was actually
fun
good.
to watch. Yeah.
And you can tell they had fun with it too.
Right. Like what is it, Picard, Data, and Geordi.
Yep.
They're into these characters, speaking with funny accents, kind of jumping around. We see confident Barclay on display, which is also just, fun. And then the sword fighting is cool too. It's real swashbuckling.
Surprisingly good choreography for Star Trek.
Right. You would think that this would be a tenth of as long as it was with.
Yeah, it keeps going and going and going, but it's never like I need this to stop right now, which
Right.
usually I feel like that's what it would be. But I totally agree with that. Really cool stuff. But yeah, Geordi catches Barclay, and he's a little perturbed by it, but he's not super judgmental about it, right? And he does take him to 10 Forward and sits him down, and What did you think about that scene?
I also liked it. The whole, what you do in your free time, that's none of my business, but, you got to be on time for work. Like, that was a level-headed response from Geordi as a leader, which I liked.
What did you think about Barclay's monologue about staring at a potted plant?
I thought it was a little bit too much, but not offensive.
It wasn't offensive, but yes, I agree. It was a little bit like, okay, we really have to explain this guy's entire emotional state.
It's like, do Star Trek fans really need help relating to
right.
to an introvert?
Right, totally. Maybe that was for the normies out there.
I guess. After everybody on set just couldn't fathom why Barclay would act how he did.
But it's also like it's not a terribly sympathetic position either. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, well, work on it.
Yeah. It's like, just don't go to parties or whatever. Because Barclay doesn't seem like somebody who is seeking for approval and not getting it. He's just he to me reads as somebody who just wants to be alone. Like he's content to be in the holodeck.
Well, I don't know if that's the case though. I think he's in the holodeck because he doesn't know how to relate to people, but he desperately would like to. I think it's just a matter of like he's kind of avoiding. It's an issue of internal conflict, and he's avoiding that conflict by going to the holodeck. That's why it's not a sympathetic position.
I mean that's entirely possible, but I don't think that's so overt.
It's not overt per se, but it is kind of the natural state of being for someone who is such an introvert that they can barely talk to people.
Well, like, I could never get into the mind of an introvert.
If you if you struggle to talk to people to such a degree as that, it means it's because you care about what people think of you and you want to be able to relate to them, but you there's something blocking you from doing that.
I suppose.
And it also means though that you're not working on it. So, and that again, that's why I say it's not a sympathetic position per se, because it's like, well, you could put the effort in and step outside the comfort zone. And these people just bother me in real life. That's all. There's a great Orson Welles quote.
Okay. I don't know where this is going.
I think he was talking about, I can only paraphrase it. He was talking about Woody Allen, I think, but he was saying like basically the people who are the most shy and reserved are the most arrogant.
Interesting.
Because they're kind of trying to, they couldn't suffer the criticism that would come with showing themselves to people. Basically.
Interesting.
So I generally find people like this and characters like this to be somewhat detestable.
I don't know. I could see it going both ways, either out of arrogance or self-loathing.
Oh no, but no. I'm sorry. The Wells quote was that it's a combination of both.
I see. Okay.
Like he hates himself and loves himself at the same time.
Well, that's certainly true for Woody Allen. I'm
yeah, it is.
I'm thinking about that in the larger context of just reserved people in general. Because I can definitely see it, and I can definitely see it other ways as well.
Well, aren't you just the most magnanimous person in the world?
Yeah, I'm magnanimous PI. My condom size is magnanimous.
It's good. It's a good Tinder conversation. How big are you? Oh, it's magnanimous.
Love it.
Yeah.
Either
all right.
way,
so we go through that.
I would say that that Barclay is a relatively sympathetic character.
I don't know if I don't know if he's sympathetic, but I understand it. I mean, I don't hate him for it. I don't think he's a bad person per se.
No, I don't either at all.
And it's like I'm rooting for him. I don't know if he's sympathetic, but I'm rooting for him. And
I don't think
by the end, he does take that step.
I don't think you can say that logically. I mean that.
What do you mean?
You don't think you don't know if he's sympathetic or not, but you're rooting for him. I think rooting for somebody intrinsically means that you sympathize with them on some level.
I don't know if that's true.
I think it is.
I disagree, and I'm not going to expand on that.
Can you explain that? What happens next?
Well, we're all out of order now, so I mean, I guess the next thing that we haven't talked
out
about.
of order.
The next thing we haven't talked about is, I think, Barclay being late to some meeting on the bridge.
Right,
because we haven't discussed that there's like radiation eating away at shit, which happens all the fucking time.
Right.
That's like one of their favorite B plots.
Yes. Oh god.
Radiation eating away at shit.
A strange hole formed somewhere. Oh, it's some kind
Yeah,
of radiation.
yeah.
And if we don't fix it, the ship's gonna blow up.
Right. And Barclay's in charge of this because somehow he's very knowledgeable or very intuitive about this stuff.
Well, he's presumably qualified to serve on the Enterprise.
Yeah. Right. So, which fair enough. That doesn't bother me at all. But he's late to a bridge meeting, and so Riker's finally had it. He was looking for any excuse.
Right. He just wanted to shove his boot up his ass.
Yeah. And he says, "I'll take care of this," and then Geordi follows him anyway
and pulls Troy in for the.
Yep.
Oh.
So they go to Barclay's mystical garden.
Before this, there was a scene of Troy and real Barclay having a therapy session.
Oh, there was, yeah. That's right.
I don't know how I feel about that. It was appropriately awkward, I guess.
Yeah, it could have been better in terms of, like, I guess the content.
Yes. I think that Barclay has an awkward therapy session with Troy is a fine scene to have.
Yes.
But I don't think that it was executed super well.
No, that was dumb. It was almost slapstick in a way.
Yes, it was very comedic.
And not in a good way.
It
was very, like, scare quotes comedic.
There was exactly one good joke. I liked
what was that?
When Barclay awkwardly put like his leg over his other leg, attempting to relax.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, kind of a dumb scene, but whatever.
We allow it.
They so all three of them go to Barclay's pleasure garden, and one line of dialogue is of note here because they're looking for Barclay and they run into the fictional versions of themselves.
Yes.
And it's only Geordi's fictional version that refers to Barclay as Master Barclay, I think.
Yeah. I'm not gonna touch that one, but yeah.
Well, no, because wasn't there? I mean, wasn't there that other holodeck scene that we had planned?
Yeah, there was another one. God, this vexes me to this day. We had another scene. It was set on an 1800s plantation, and only in that scene was Geordi and Barclay. And I don't remember the exact context of it. I remember Michael Dorn said it had big NTR vibes.
Yeah, NTR vibes.
Yeah, I still not sure what he meant by that, but
what is it?
Like the radio station? No, it's NPR.
That's NPR, yeah. NTR. I mean, if any of the ensigns know what NTR is, please shoot us an email or tweet at us or something.
Right. That would help.
No idea what that is.
We could tweet at Michael and ask him, maybe.
Or we could, actually. The ensigns could.
Yeah. So if you're as curious as we are, tweet at Michael Dorn, ask him what he meant when he said that a scene had big NTR vibes.
Or just keep it simple. Ask him what NTR is.
And report back.
Yeah.
Now, that scene, of course, ended up getting cut, but I assume that, well, if it's the Pleasure Garden Geordi, you're still referring to him as Master Barclay, that wouldn't really gel logistically, because the program would have been different, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a writing mistake, continuity error.
Yeah, it could be. Holdover, yeah. Wesley's pretty funny.
Yes. He's just sitting there eating a pie with his hands.
Yeah. He's he was based on some painting.
Will Wheaton?
The Blue Boy? No. No. Fake Wesley was based on The Blue Boy by Thomas Gainsborough.
Ah. Okay.
Which I found interesting.
That is interesting. It's more cultured than we're used to.
Yeah.
Good
but yeah, he is very funny. And presumably Barclay created him after Wesley showed him up at that initial meeting with Geordi and his senior officers.
Yes.
Which is very funny. It's a very petty act of revenge.
In the business, we would say that there's a nice bit of internal logic to these holodeck scenes.
We would say that.
In all of our glory, we would say that.
This is kind of starting to make me wonder, though, why was Wesley invited to Geordi's meeting with the senior officers?
They say that Wesley...
Just matter of factly.
He's doing some part of study or training or something for...
Oh, do they say that?
Yeah, and I assume that he's sitting in it with this meeting as part of that.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I take that back.
Internal logic. My internal logic is too strong for you.
My internal logic meter?
Logicometer.
Logicometer. The word pedometer really bothers me.
Yeah? Yeah, explain.
I mean, I don't think I need to.
Well, I mean, I've always found it useful when I wanted to protect my children.
Yeah.
You have a sweeping scan of the park.
Get your pedometer out.
Yeah, and I let them in. It's like a tricorder, really.
A Geiger counter for pedos.
The pedometer's reading a 0. Okay, kids, let's go.
All right, what happens? They refuse to fight the they refuse to fight the fake versions of themselves, and then this little midget Riker comes out.
Pretty funny.
That was really good. He's got like this high pitched voice. Good effort on Frakes' part, because I know how difficult it is for him to have any kind of range.
Yeah, I mean, I think a balloon was involved, but he part of the effort in acting, huffing some gases to get your performance there. Good for him.
Yeah, that was funny.
He's also short.
And yeah, no, I said that.
Okay.
I said that.
Okay.
I said that. No.
Yeah. See, I'm like Riker right now.
You're acting.
Yes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Troy is kind of just like she's implicitly condoning this, right?
Yeah, it's healthy to have escape mechanisms, and if we just take this away from Barclay, it might damage him and all that stuff. And that's the setup, inevitable punchline.
Yeah.
The holodeck Troy shows up, and then the shoe is on the other foot, as they would say.
Mm-hmm.
Which
women.
This was also kind of funny, seeing smug Riker. And both him and Geordi enjoy dunking on Troy.
Yeah,
as it turns out.
It was a fun series of events.
Yes. And eventually they find Barclay resting on Crusher's lap. Dr. Crusher, mind you. Who,
yes, not Wesley.
So far has barely figured into the episode, short of just being in the holodeck scenes.
Yeah, no, she isn't anywhere but the holodeck scenes this episode, right?
Right. Which
so I guess she's Barclay's mommy.
Really highlights the fact that there are just so few female characters.
Right.
They had to call in Crusher just for this.
Yeah.
Who else are they going to get?
She is a good mommy, though.
She is a good mommy. Both to Wesley and to Barclay.
Yes. They could have gotten who's that Vulcan that was played by Worf's girlfriend?
Yeah, they could have gotten her. They could have gotten Denise.
No. Barclay just has this fucking dead woman in the holodeck so he can rape her. which would happen too.
Oh,
That would
definitely.
happen.
There's some good continuity in this episode when Geordi mentions him falling in love with a
Yeah.
hologram.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, yeah, I guess that did happen. I forgot about that.
I'm waiting for the next episode with her in it with bated breath.
Leia Brahms.
Yeah. Large Brahms.
There it is. So things don't really come to a head here because they find
It's all techno babble.
well they find Barclay and
I thought you were talking about the episode as a whole.
well, no, that too. But they find Barclay, and you would think there would be some kind of repercussions for what everybody just saw, but nope, there's a problem, and now the engineers are called away to investigate it.
Right.
So really, that whole excursion, nothing comes of.
Mm-hmm. No, it was just like a comedy bit.
Right. And it was enjoyable, so I'm not like...
It was fun.
Which is weird, because Trek usually just falls so flat with
Yeah.
comedy.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna say all. Most of the funny stuff in this episode is actually funny.
Yeah. I think
So
probably
that's
just
good.
aside from that scene with Troy in the
With
therapy.
Troy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll chalk it up as a success.
Sure. But yeah, so after that, Barclay is extremely reliable.
Yeah,
Somehow.
he's still nervous, but he gets his job done. Which I guess I believe.
Yeah, sure.
It would be a lot less
fine.
believable for him to have a complete personality 180, but
Yeah.
it is believable knowing he graduated the academy, he got transferred to the Enterprise.
Yeah. And I mean, he got transferred because Captain Gleason was buttering their bread.
I never really understood that. Like, what
No?
bread?
Well, okay, so here's the thing, and I've gotten this question before at conventions every now and then because there's there's the special kind of fan that kind of notices this sort of thing. The reason this doesn't make sense is because we had this preceding scene that actually got filmed. I guess you might have not been there that day.
That must have been part of my sabbatical.
Yeah,
During
your
season-
birthright.
During season 3, I took a month or two to really find myself.
Right. Yeah. And we can discuss that later if you like. But yeah, we had this scene that was going to almost immediately precede Riker saying this line where they would have ostensibly dined with Captain Gleason and he would have buttered their bread.
Right, as
For them.
a way of currying favor.
Right.
That makes sense.
And right.
Okay.
And we all kind of thought this was going to make it in. When I watched the episode, I was kind of appalled. It turns out that Cliff just had it cut out.
Wait.
at the very end.
Who's Paul?
Oh, that's a whole nother story.
Jeez, how much did I miss?
Listen, I'm not going to get into that right now, but
All right.
needless to say, we created a bit of a continuity error here.
We're still paying for it years later.
We are because we still get that question.
Well, after we finish recording, you'll have to tell me about this Paul.
But yeah, this Paul fella, he's a character.
Now, you refer to him as a Paul, so were there several Pauls?
Well, no. Well,
Now,
so
is this part of the
not
Paul is dead
necessarily.
thing?
Not necessarily. The thing is, it was a thing that we would say we're appalled.
So wait, was it
Like-
his full name was Paul Ling?
No.
Okay. All right, I'm just gonna move on. You're leaving something out, and I'm kind of suspicious, but
Well, he wasn't a Chinese man.
okay.
I know that's what you're thinking. He was not Chinese.
Well, I mean, adoption, right? It's mixed. Half.
It was possible, I guess.
So wait, who's
Hey,
who's,
yeah, but-
who's Paul Sybil? There's so many Pauls, and I've never met any of them.
Shut up.
Anyway, so after this, the climax of the episode comes, I imagine, with them needing to save the ship that is accelerating out of control.
Did you understand any of this?
Yeah, I mean the matter antimatter injectors aren't working, so presumably
They're like plugged up or something.
yeah, they're
like a fucking
physically
drainage
jammed.
pipe.
Yes. And that's causing the ship to wildly accelerate to the point where structural integrity is going to be breached.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, as a problem, that's fine. And it's up to the engineering team to solve it. They call a meeting, and Barclay inevitably he gets the clue that gets everybody started, but he doesn't single-handedly solve the problem either.
Mm-hmm.
Which is part of why it's believable.
Well, yeah, and they're dropping hints for the episode that Barclay is actually knowledgeable about this kind of thing. He does figure these things out. He just struggles with articulating them.
Right. So, I liked that conclusion. It is verging on just a little too much techno babble.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
I got bored.
Especially when they're running through the list of fake elements that they might.
Oh, okay. I actually kind of like that.
Yeah.
I like that bit, but once they're actually like, like there's that countdown timer, and they're standing at the computer, and Jordy's like, "Reg, we gotta do this," or I don't know. It's that kind of lost me.
Yeah, the problem doesn't really connect so well with a ticking clock.
No,
unfortunately,
it's not very visually exciting.
No, they put on their Michael Jackson gloves and they find the sparkly.
Yeah.
But, Barclay's idea ultimately saves the day. And instead of getting a true thanks from, Riker or whatever, the conclusion of his little arc is him saying goodbye to the holodeck. Which
is fair.
Yeah, I think it's a satisfying conclusion. I don't know which one I would find more satisfying between that and some of the senior staff apologizing to him, or
that is a good point. Something to think about. Would that have been a better conclusion? If Riker was like, "Well, you did a good job."
Yeah, it's possible, but this one's still fine. It's fine.
Yeah, and
how do you feel about the him not deleting all of his programs?
Oh, the question is, what did he keep?
Yeah, well,
the Troy sex dungeon.
Do you like that little joke? It's kind of very sitcom-y.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's fine. It's this idea that he doesn't need to go cold turkey.
I don't know. You could interpret it that way. You could also interpret it as a moment of weakness. Right?
You could, but it's not.
You could, but it's not.
Well, it ultimately isn't, though, is it? Because he becomes like an actual person, right? So.
Yeah, but I mean, with any kind of addiction, right? You're always thinking about relapse and
hollow addiction.
Right. Any kind of hollow addiction, you're thinking about hollow lapse.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, and this is going to be a hot take, but I do think obsessively going cold turkey on things is just another form of addiction in a way.
Well, I think it's
sometimes.
I think it's an acknowledgement of one's weakness to say that I'm not strong enough to do this in moderation, so I'm just not going to present the temptation. Which isn't unreasonable to me.
It's not unreasonable, but it's also if Barclay can delete all of his fantasies except one, then he just uses that fantasy to get off or something and then leaves. That's all right.
That's presumably what he was doing the whole time, getting off and leaving.
Yeah, but he spent a lot of time in there.
He did fall asleep in mommy's lap.
Yeah, so maybe this last one that he didn't delete is just a quickie.
Maybe it's just like a workout program.
Could be a workout program.
Like a track and field.
That's why he smiled knowingly about it.
It's the line that set sail 1,000 fan fictions. Program 9.
Yeah, we should have had a Trek novel about that.
Just call it Program 9.
Program 9 from Outer Space.
Nice. Very nice.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I think we all buy that.
Yeah. I guess that's pretty much it, though, right? That's it for the episode, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about the end credits if you want, but we've never done that before.
No, which might make it good content.
Yeah, I mean...
I like the part where the blue names showed up.
How about we just read the end credits?
Now that's content.
Overall, how would you sum up your opinion?
Well, we had almost nothing but praise for this episode. So I'm going to say it was great. I'd watch it again several times. And it's probably a 4-ish.
Yeah, if I
trending on the high side.
I would say between 3.5 and 4. Maybe it rounds up to a 4.
Yeah.
So I'll give it 4. I'll be charitable.
Yeah.
I will say, though, that however good this episode is, it's going to get completely mogged by next week's episode, which is excellent.
What is next week's episode?
Next week's episode is The Most Toys, the one where Data gets stolen.
You love that one.
It's probably one of my top 3 favorite episodes of the show.
I don't remember it too well, so it is going to be interesting to rediscover that one.
Oh, it's a gem. I mean, maybe I'm setting it up too much and you're going to hate it, but I love it.
No, I mean, I do remember liking it back when, back in the day, but...
Right.
I just don't remember it, so we'll see. All right, what do I have for you today?
You were very excited about the trivia.
I had a few different ideas. One of them's less exciting, so I might just do both, how do I want to do this? It's
bizarre to me that you have a less exciting and a very exciting choice, and you're really stuck deliberating between the two.
Well, this one, I just really want to talk about this one. There's this character Duffy in this episode, who is the other. You know him, right?
Yeah, he's the one of the senior engineers.
Wouldn't you know it? There's an Apocrypha section.
Oh Lord.
In Memory Alpha about him, where he appears in the post-Dominion War era as the second officer of the USS Da Vinci.
It always comes back to the USS Da Vinci now, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? And I just thought that was stupid and ridiculous, and I thought you'd appreciate that.
Yeah, really reaching for just about anybody.
Yeah. My much more exciting question is about Dwight Schultz.
Okay, we like him.
Dwight Schultz had a radio show, actually, called Howling Mad.
This doesn't sound like it's related to Trek at all.
It's not.
Oh my God.
And that's the question, is what was the subject matter?
Howling Mad. Part of me wants to say like a radio call-in show where people just rant about things. Maybe that's too ridiculous a concept. But there's that. Part of me wants to say...
To a degree, that's almost every radio show.
This is true. Maybe it's about werewolves.
It could be about werewolves.
Maybe the name is not so descriptive. How about just a politically minded, monologue rant show?
You are absolutely right.
Yes,
you are right. And from what position is he monologuing?
You mean political position?
Well, yes, U.S. of course.
Right. Well, there's two big options, right? But how about, let's say, libertarian?
Close, but no, it's conservative. It's a conservative radio show, and I want to share with you some choice YouTube comments.
Oh, please. Please.
It was so disappointing to find out Dwight Schultz is a conservative. He played in the Star Trek universe, a universe that portrays a future where humanity has gotten over its squabbling wars and intolerance and homophobia. It's weird. It's like when all the conservatives were bitching about Discovery being, quote, too SJW, I just kept thinking to myself, have you ever watched Star Trek? And I just run across an article which starts, actor Dwight Schultz says President Barack Obama's Healthcare Act will force him to alter his sex. I mean, the article does go on, but is there really much need for elaboration on the wackiness here?
Oh, God.
I felt the same way when I found out he was a conservative, but I felt appalled when I listened to this crap. Oh, appalled?
Wait, there he is again.
There he is again. Did this guy work on this? Who is this guy?
I assume that Paul was next to him, and when he heard this, he felt him up.
He felt Paul, yeah.
Yeah.
He continues, I was so sad to hear this trite come out of his mouth.
Could you imagine, this actor appears on Star Trek 3 times, and now you're just invested in his life forever?
Yeah. He must be the exact kind of person I think he is.
Good Lord.
Is there anything else? I mean, there's a lot of... there's a comment, shut up, broccoli. There's a lot of... I guess in this episode that I'm looking at on YouTube, he talks about gay people, so there's a lot of gay talking about homosexuality and homophobia and stuff, but...
So is that his main career, the radio show?
No, he was actually a fairly prolific TV actor. He played the mouse in Cat Dog.
Prolific, huh?
No, I mean, he did a few things. He did like dubbed anime and video games and some TV stuff and whatever. But
so a lot of voice acting.
He's been all over the place.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. For him to shift to radio while being a pretty competent actor was surprising.
Yeah, he must really have some morals he wants to discuss. The radio show ended at least 10 years ago now, though. So
how recent are the comments?
Well, this video was uploaded in 2011. The most recent comment, well, the ones I was reading are about 9 years old. The most recent comment is 2 years ago.
Jesus, the seethe.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure we could find more on other videos.
Completely putting aside how far removed temporally this all is from when TNG aired, the fact that people are still reacting to the show itself so far along, just amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Dwight Schultz is kind of the Augustus of our age.
Yes. Wow. It lives forever, this guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice book.
And that looped back around like an 8.
Yes. Not a lowercase 8, mind you.
No, certainly not.
Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode of the Readier Room. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Denny's, home of the Grand Slam and Moons Over Miami, and the Tauntaun Men. Also, the Pep Boys, home of the 15-minute oil change. You can say the word Readier at either of these fine establishments for 15% off of your purchase, whatever it may be. Join us next week when we have a fantastic episode of TNG, even better than this week. And until then, in that interim, I implore everybody listening and their loved ones to please stay readier.
The troublesome little man-child.
I stand before you defrocked, condemned to be a member of this lowest of species.
Thank you, Ensign. Engage.
Do you consider yourself superior to us?
Should have told him to mind his own damn business.
But I stroked the beard thusly. Do I not appear more intellectual?
Computer, freeze program.
Have you never dreamed of climbing inside the bottle?